What's going on, guys? Welcome to the Freefall Podcast, episode 4. I have here with me a chief of the Vanceboro Police Department in North Carolina, Mr. Jared Keys. If you'd like to introduce yourself, Jared.
Hey, guys. Like I said, I'm the chief of police at Vanceboro Police Department, small little town agency in between New Bern and ECU, which is Greenville. Yeah, I mean, small agency, but we got big hopes out there, though.
Yeah, man, that's pretty insane. We went to BLET together, which is basic law enforcement training,
Right.
Craven Community College here in North Carolina. And, we go way back. We're day ones, man. It's crazy to see how far that you've come in such a short amount of time, really.
Yeah,
And the youngest police chief in North Carolina.
that's correct.
That's insane, man.
Yep, got
Congratulations.
sworn-
That's
appreciate
awesome.
it, man. Yeah, I got
It's an
sworn
accomplishment.
in July of last year. In fact, the chief at the time, he'd been there for 16 years, I believe, and just came to me one day. Was like, "Hey, man, so I'm gonna hang it up. Thinking about just doing my own thing." I was
Yeah.
like, "All right." And I'm like, "Well, how would you feel about me being a chief?" He was like, "I'd support it." So I mean, he gave me a lot of the confidence
Yeah.
to really try for it because someone as young as me,
Yeah.
I would have never thought.
It's intimidating.
When you think about someone being a chief, you think about some peppered gray hair,
Yeah,
or some
man.
older,
Some seasoned,
some
veteran.
older person that's been around the block, you
Yeah.
know. And you've heard the term, especially in the law enforcement community, and especially with older people, they say you've been serving since breakfast.
Yeah, for sure.
At this point in time, I'm 7 years
7
in,
years.
so I've been serving since lunch.
which is interesting, right? So 7 years, it's not a long time in this type of field, but it's still a long time to do anything.
In 7 years,
And you know
yeah.
your shit by now.
Oh yeah, 7, and I'm still learning my shit. You
Yeah.
know, that's the thing. Is,
Always continuing to learn.
oh
for
yeah,
sure.
and in 7 years, the law enforcement aspect has changed so much.
Mm-hmm.
From policing the community, from policies being written in, through legislature. So much has changed in 7 years.
Yeah.
So it constantly adapting. But as a person, I've changed from the moment we were in BLET until now.
Goofballs.
Oh my gosh. Like you have to conduct yourself as a professional at all times, usually.
But you still have that side to you, right?
Oh, 100%.
When we talked a little bit before we started the podcast, but it's cool because you're still able to keep the core of who you are, and I think that's part of the reason people were comfortable and why you got the position, because you just stay true to yourself, man. You are you, and you're not changing just to appease other people, which is valuable nowadays.
Mm-hmm.
Because not a lot of people do that.
No,
there's a lot of politics, a lot of fake delusions, people saying what they think they're supposed to, and they don't really feel that way. And I think people can, sense when somebody's a bullshitter.
Oh, 100%. I mean, it comes with the job. You got to know. You got to know how to read people.
Mm-hmm.
Just like when you walk into a room, you got to read the room.
Yep.
You got to read the people. And the best thing in life is just being true to yourself, not anybody else.
Amen.
If it doesn't matter how other people perceive, it's how you perceive yourself. You know what I'm saying?
Because at the end of the day, you have to have your own back.
100%.
It's the only person you can count on at the end of the day.
And that's another aspect of law enforcement's change. Back in the day, a lot of people, said that, being a law enforcement was like a brotherhood. That's changed.
Yeah.
You have small factions, small little cliques within the agency, depending on how big the agency is.
I agree with that.
But the brotherhood per se, that's not existent. Not today anymore. People say, "Or if you're a law enforcement officer, you get pulled over, you're not going to get a ticket." That's not true.
Mm-hmm.
I got pulled over. Onslow County got a ticket.
That's crazy.
And
I've noticed that too.
I still had to go to court.
Yeah.
So
that's a good thing though, right?
it is.
It is a good thing. Being held accountable no matter what.
100%. And I agree. In fact, when the law enforcement officer gave me my citation, I looked at him. I said, "I appreciate you for doing your job.
That's
Thank
good.
you."
That's awesome.
And
you didn't feel spiteful. That's the best
No.
thing too. And maybe that's part of the reason why you're able to get in this position at such an early age, because you don't have that sense of entitlement. Like a lot of these guys who've been in the business, who've been in their career for, decades, they're like, do you know who I am?
Right.
They have that entitlement, and that's not good in a position of authority to have entitlement like that.
man, be humble. That's the most that's the most important thing I can tell anybody in any type of position, where it's law enforcement, whether it's working at McDonald's. It doesn't
Yeah.
matter. Just be humble.
Yeah, for sure.
Because there's so many people in this world who would love to have with you what you have.
Oh, yeah, dude.
Be humble.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
What would you say to somebody, let's say they're going through a police academy anywhere around the country right now, or anywhere in the world for that matter, and they're looking for guidance, and they want to follow in your footsteps and achieve, a lot in a short amount of time? What would be their best thing to focus on? I know you just said being humble, but what other characteristics should they try to emulate?
The first question I would ask them is why? Why would you want to get in law enforcement?
Okay.
That's the very first question. If it's to drive fast and shoot guns, you're in the wrong profession.
Yeah.
It's just, you're not going to get what you want out of it.
A lot of people's reasons for joining are that
Yeah.
action.
And I think they're the ones that don't really make it. Or
They get in trouble.
Yeah, they skate by until they do get in trouble. For me personally, my drive to get into law enforcement was, coming from where I came from. I didn't have any role models growing up. Zero. I mean, I had, a few, from school and whatnot, and I took a little bit from each person. But for me, it was my kids. I wanted to do something that I felt like my kids would be proud of their dad to do. So that's the first question I would ask: is what is your drive? What's your motivation to even do it? And then once you find out what that is for you, my first advice would be to, obviously be humble. Never forget where you come from. Always be, never put yourself in a situation where your integrity could be questioned.
That's such a big one.
Your integrity is everything. Your word, your name is everything to you.
A man's only as good as his word.
100%. Especially in this line of duty, in this line of work, your name is everything. And say you work for one agency your whole life, but all these agencies around you, if you have a good name, they'll know about it. If you have a bad name, that stress is gonna go any further, than agencies around you.
It's hard to hide what your true character is in such a raw profession. Like you see the raw realness of people because emotions are super high, responsibilities are arguably the highest of any profession.
Definitely.
And you can't fake your true person for only but for so long.
Exactly.
So if you are a bad character and you're in this type of profession with this responsibility, it's only a matter of time before it hits
always
the fan.
happens. It always happens, and you see it. I mean, in my short amount of time of being in law enforcement, you see it happen so many times. Even people we went to BLET with, their true colors finally came out, and they got exposed for who they were. We saw it, but they didn't see it, and eventually it caught up to them.
Yeah, we definitely saw it.
Yeah, for sure. Not going to say who, but we know.
Yeah.
Class of 2015.
So taking it all the way back to your roots, what's your story? How did you get to, because I met you in BLET. Obviously I wasn't from this state, and we met there, but before that, what's the story of Jared Keys, Chief Keys?
Man, oh man, it's a rocky road.
Yeah.
It's a slippery slope of a story, man. Originally I'm not even from here.
Okay.
I'm from Charleston, South Carolina.
Okay.
I lived there, until I was about 7 or so. During my time that I was there, I got an older sister. And it was my mom. So it was my mom, my sister, and me all growing up. So
Okay.
that's for a long time. That's the only family I really had.
Okay.
I got aunts and uncles and grandmas. But my mom was in and out of trouble a lot. Mom went to prison, mom into jail. So some of my earliest memories that I have aren't great memories, and I don't really have too many good memories growing up.
Yeah.
And even when I tell this story, I tell people all the time, every time I tell this story, I had every right to be a piece of shit.
Yeah.
And people, once they learn my story, be like, yeah, I get it. But I didn't conform to that person that people wanted me to be. So I can tell you one of my earliest memories is, I think I was 3 or 4 years old. My mom was in jail. She went to jail for stealing some some food from a market to feed me and my sister.
That's tough, man.
Because the guy that she was married with, he was a crackhead, you know, and so he didn't care about anything other than getting high.
So real rough, like not people will be like, oh, you came from like a real rough upbringing. Like
so while my mom's
crazy.
in jail, I think she spent like 5 or 6 days in jail before she was able to bond out or whatnot. But for 5 days, my sister didn't go to school because the crackhead wouldn't put her on the bus. But not only that, for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, we ate peanut butter and jelly mixed up in a metal bowl. Breakfast, lunch, and dinner. That's all we had.
It's
that
tough,
first
man.
day, I'm like, hell yeah, this is great.
Yeah.
You know?
And then you're like,
peanut butter jelly time. It was great. By day 3, I'm like, peanut butter jelly time.
The song ain't carrying the same tune.
No, it's not. You know, so that,
you
know, and we lived in these apartments in South Carolina where there was like shootings going on, there was stabbings. You know, I remember looking outside one day and the whole dumpster outside was on fire. You know, people just out there just setting stuff on fire. And
like stuff in a movie, man.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
I mean, it was.
And this isn't a story about some dude that's my friend that I'm just interviewing. This is a chief of a police department, and these are his roots. All you people out there that have excuses, I had a rough upbringing, I had a rough childhood. It's all bullshit.
Yeah, I mean, not to say that your story isn't bullshit.
You can overcome
but your situations that you allow yourself to be in is bullshit.
It is.
You know,
it's your mindset, man.
You got to change your mind. You can't conform to the person that people expect you to be. Like I said, I had every right to be a piece of shit, and I just decided not to be that person. You know, for me personally, and I'll say I was scared to be the person that people thought I was going to be. You know, addicted to drugs, in and out of jail. I'm not built for jail. I'm gonna be honest.
I'm too pretty for jail.
I'm not built for jail, man. I can't do it. I can't. I worked in the jail.
Yeah,
you know,
no, they're the real people. I like to tell this to people too. Just a side note, but people will be like, "Oh man, that dude, he got in a fight in the bar the other week. He's the baddest dude I know." And I like to reemphasize, guys, the worst people, the toughest motherfuckers you're gonna meet, they're in jail. They're in prison. You're never going to meet them. No. They're the real ones. No. You don't want to go there. You've never been around somebody and looked somebody in the eyes who's a real killer, because they're scary, dude.
Yeah, it's funny you say that. When I worked in the jail after I graduated BLET in 2015, there was a guy who was in there, and he was an inmate at the jail. No one fucked with this dude. Dude was quiet. And but no one fuck with him.
Yeah.
He was facing some pretty serious charges. I want to say they were like doing something with some children or whatnot. So he was facing some serious charges and whatnot.
They don't like that stuff either.
No, and that's the thing. People in jail don't like pedophiles. But they wouldn't fuck with this dude. Why?
That's crazy.
Because he was a 3-time world champion black belt. You know,
man.
And this dude would roundhouse you from across the other side, so no one fuck with him.
That's crazy.
So I don't care who you are.
The stigma didn't even matter. They're
there's people in jail that's way tougher than you.
Maybe the next dude.
Yeah. But
that's crazy.
Yeah, man. I mean, like I said, going back to my story, you just can't conform to that person that people want you to be.
Well, congratulations for overcoming that, man. That's awesome.
Yeah. And
I'm sure that trickled into, continual problems probably followed you for a while, but it looks like you definitely overcame that, and you're doing a tremendous job for yourself. And I think anybody that, this applies to any type of career, guys, this is a perfect example, and that's why I wanted to do this podcast. That's why I wanted to have him on here. Other than the fact that we're good friends, and what he's doing is amazing right now, but he's not like he's 55 years old. He is young. 31 years old, sworn in as the chief, youngest in North Carolina. Again, that's admirable, and his story is tough. Like, he has a rough story, and he didn't let that make a difference. He just overcame it.
Hell yeah!
Super, super cool.
Yeah, and there's so many stories I can tell you from my childhood, man.
Yeah.
I mean, from seeing people come inside of my apartment, pistol whip my mom, rob her for the money and drugs that she had.
Like a movie.
Oh yeah, straight
Like
up.
actually like a
I'm
movie.
like 6 years old, pointing at this dude's gun. I'm like, what is that? And he was like, oh, it's just a paper gun. No, I don't want a paper gun.
Yeah.
I didn't realize that until I got older, man.
So all these experiences, right? All these pretty terrible things. Do you feel like you would be sitting here today if they didn't happen to you?
You know, the world's full of what ifs. You know, you never really know. But I would say to that question, I think a lot of the challenges and a lot of the the experiences I went through as a child, through my childhood, I think it molded me to the person I am. You know, the fear of being that person that people, the society thought that I would be, you know,
And almost expected you to be.
yeah, you know, that fear, I guess, from all these experiences in me, you know, it molded me to who I am because I don't want to be that person,
Yeah.
you know, and I had to adapt and overcome a lot of shit. And so, I mean, you could say if I didn't go through those situations, I don't know. I don't know what kind of person I'd have been.
Yeah.
You know, who knows? I might have been fearless, you know,
True.
and gotten to more shit.
Yeah. Having a healthy fear because you see what's out there is beneficial.
100%.
A lot of people are like, oh, I want to be fearless. Fear keeps you alive.
Yeah, yeah. I mean,
A healthy fear.
healthy fear. I instill that to my kids.
Yeah.
My kids love me. They respect me, but they fear me.
Yeah.
But it's a healthy fear.
A healthy fear. A respect.
Oh yeah, 100%. You know, and so
There's a lot of that nowadays. You see parents, like I'll see it a lot too at work or just out in public, and the kids are just little wild animals, and you can see that there's zero control.
yeah,
And that is going to translate when they get older. They're going to be little shitheads, and they're going to grow up to not respect authority. And then guess
Dude.
what? They're
Dude.
going to have to learn one way or the other. And either, you know, parents got to raise their kids, or, you know, the world's going to raise them, or
Right.
law enforcement's going to raise them.
dude. I mean, it's funny you say that, man. When I was an SRO at local middle school here, it has changed so much since since you and I were in middle school. Drastically. I remember my teachers saying, if you don't act up, I'm gonna go home. I'm gonna write a note to your mom.
Yep.
Out, okay, I'm good.
Fearful. Oh my
I'm done.
God. Yep.
All right, you got it.
Nowadays.
Now, kids walk through the halls and cuss the teachers out. I remember kids literally selling drugs in middle school.
Oh yeah.
They were literally selling little dime bags in middle school.
Little shits.
And I remember thinking to myself in my office, I'm like, I did not expect this to be happening
It's crazy.
in middle school, you know?
The world's a lot different.
And then, you know, you look back and you have to like, why is this happening? And a lot of it is actually attributed to the opioid epidemic.
Yeah.
A lot of these kids that are in school right now don't have a structured home. Either they don't have a mother, they don't have a father, they don't have both. You know, either parents are dead or in prison. They're being raised by grandparents or aunts and uncles, or a case may be.
Yeah.
So a lot of these kids in school right now are so angry, and a lot of them are fearless. They don't have no fear.
Yeah, they've seen a bunch of stuff already. They're tough. They're tough little kids.
And one of the kids that was in my school actually did CPR on her mom when she overdosed, and that little girl remembered me. Her and I, you know, she loved me. She loved coming to my office. I would talk to her. You know, mentored her a lot, and you know, it just. But she's actually doing good. She's actually one of those people that's not molding to the person that people assume she.
You can kind of tell at an early age too
yeah.
if they just got. It's like hard to explain. You just have that like spark that's like, you know what, I have every opportunity to be, you know, a POS in life, and I'm just not gonna do it. There's just like a good heart.
Yeah.
And I wish we could figure out what some of those like triggers are to make kids not want to follow in the footsteps of what they see or what they're exposed to. But it's really hard to figure out because I've been around. I coached youth through the police department, youth league, and I was in a rough area as well. And a lot of these kids, man, they had no parenting at all. No. It was just, they were angry. I broke up like 10 fights the first day of practice. they're just angry little kids, and they have no guidance. But they were
No.
completely different by the time we were done. You know, when I was done coaching them for that first year, but I couldn't figure out what it was. It's not like there's like a cheat sheet to see like, oh, this kid's gonna act this way. It's really comes down to like what kind of a person you are, and it's really interesting because I wish there was an easier way to kind of guide the troubled youth. But I haven't figured it out yet.
No, there's no cheat sheet. There's no cheat sheet to raising kids, to being a man, to being a father, you know, or being a married man. There's no cheat sheet. You know, the only thing you can do is take from what you've learned till you got to that point. And once you get to that point, you continue learning. You know, when me and my wife first got together, we fought like cats and dogs. But we had to learn each other. So, you know, when I first became a father, I didn't know what the fuck I was doing. You know, I knew how to change a diaper. That's about it. I mean, it's on they made instructions for changing diapers.
Yeah,
it's on the box.
Okay.
And so I learned how to do that. But yeah, I mean, even today, you know, my oldest son, he's 9, and my youngest son just turned 7 a couple of days ago. Happy B-Day, bro. And you know, so I'm still learning. You know, watching kids grow up, and that's a magical thing,
pretty magical, isn't it,
bro? It's crazy.
Little beings.
I'm telling you, bro.
With the saying the craziest stuff, thinking the crazy.
My kids walk around the house saying D's nuts now, bro. Swear to God. My wife fucking hates it. And so she's got 2 kids. Her youngest is 3.
Oh, that's funny.
This little dude saying it, you know, he fucking loves me. That's little mini me. And
That's awesome.
And
For a little background story on the when we went to Bela a long time ago, what was the name, Weldon?
Welvin the Great.
Welvin the Great. Hey, something came in the mail today. These nuts. I mean, we said that every day, all day long. It was so funny, man. That's what's so interesting is I feel like I was so young back then. It was 6, 7 years ago?
2015. So Saul, do the math.
Yeah,
I'm a cop. I don't do math.
So I was like, what's going on? Where am I? I was playing on my iPad.
Right.
Yeah, but dude, I've learned so, like, being an officer for those 3 years changed me completely, and I can only imagine what it's done for you. I mean, obviously we can see, but like, so valuable, and we were just like little, just goofballs, man. But we never really lost it. But we just kind of grew and transitioned to like a more polished version. But dude, it was so fun, man.
Hell yeah.
Such a great time. I remember
showing up like when you were in and you'd be on the call and I'd show up.
Yeah, when you were working at a different department. Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, it was so cool too.
It was, man. And we'd always bust out with that first joke.
Yep.
Got something to know today.
Oh, you
motherfucker. Okay.
That was so funny.
And the instructors training day.
They were so tired of it too. They were like, just shut up.
You know they're still doing it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh wow. Yeah, I would too.
You remember Rick Barney slapped the piss out of me?
Oh yeah.
God almighty.
On the range.
No.
He got mad at you too in the range. Remember?
No, that was Billy Joel.
Yeah.
But no, we were in class and we were doing interviews and whatnot. And he was like, "Hey, Keys, come to the front of the class." I'm like, "Okay, what's this about?" It's like, "Leave your glasses on the table." I'm like, "What? This ain't gonna go good. This ain't gonna go good."
Oh, I remember that.
Yeah, so I'm standing up there blind as a
awkward.
bat, and he's like, "So when you're having a conversation with somebody, you always want to keep their hands up. When you keep their hands up, you can always and just slap the shit out of me." And I'm sitting there like,
we were all like, "What's going on?
Yeah.
Right now? Is this allowed?"
I was thinking the same thing. Like,
you remember in subject control when they did the common peroneal nerve on me, and they were, dude, you could hear a pin drop,
bro.
I'd never been in so much pain in my life.
That was the worst shit ever.
They were trying to prove a point.
Yeah.
That
I
was
remember
bad.
he was there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So subject control is like physical, you know, like
arrest
combat techniques.
Yeah.
But they did an example on me, and you have a common peroneal nerve, like any MMA guys out there, like combat sports guys, I don't know what I'm talking about. But if you've never been hitting your common peroneal nerve on your leg,
it's like a dead leg.
It's the most painful thing ever. And they did what, like 20 knee strikes
Well, we
on
had
each side.
Well, yeah, on
I
you.
couldn't even move.
Yeah, on you.
The whole class was just dead quiet.
And then after that, everybody had to practice on everybody.
Yeah.
So that was even worse.
It was so crazy.
Yeah. And then they were like asking us, why can't you walk today? Well, yesterday we had a common peroneal kicked in.
It was kind of tough. Like it was pretty tough. Like the driving for me, you did really good in driving.
Oh, I love
you
the
killed
driving.
it, man.
I remember
you weren't even sweating. I had so much anxiety because I just evidently I can't drive. Well, I can't now, but like I don't know. I just couldn't.
You remember who was worse?
Drove straight through the cars.
I was like, it's 10 points off every time you hit a cone. You don't gain 10 points every time you hit a cone.
It was one of those where you already know you lost. You're just like, fuck it. I'm gonna keep going.
Straight up YOLO'd it.
That shit was too funny.
Yeah,
man.
the driving, man, that was the most fun part for me.
Yeah, that was good.
Everybody, and not trying to throw shade on anybody, but everybody was kind of timid and scared and whatnot.
Yeah.
And I looked at Rick Barney. He's the instructor out there at BLET, and he teaches the driving out there. I looked at him and I was like, Mr. Barney, these are only cones out here, and this ain't my car. And
that was your mindset.
Yeah, I was sitting in the driver's seat. He said, Keys, don't you tear my damn car up. And I took off.
Hold me up.
I took off, man.
Yeah, no, that was cool, but that was also kind of your personality. I noticed because one thing I will say about it, because I like to is if it's different now, because back when we were doing it, we didn't know who was going to go where, so it's hard to say who's doing it, who has the right mentality, because everybody had very different personalities. But looking back, you went after it. Everything that was difficult, you gave it your all, and a lot of people gave up.
Yeah. But
that's what it takes.
For me, my drive wasn't there. Coming to class every day, it was the look Rick Barney gave me every day. He was like, "I'm gonna make this motherfucker quit today."
Yeah.
I see it in his eyes all the time, and it took so long to prove.
He was hard on you.
Yeah, man.
Because you were actually you're in pretty good shape now. Like.
I'm still
off
fat.
topic. No, I mean you're. hey.
Now, I got arms.
No, when you were in BLET, you were out of shape.
100%.
Yeah, you were out of shape, and now you've you're in shape now.
I'm just stronger.
But he didn't like that though, because he was like tough like that.
Because he'd already said people had already told me he's gonna weed the fat people out.
Yeah,
and that's what I've heard. And so when I saw the look on his face when I was in there, people had already dropped out, and even about probably 2 weeks in,
he enjoyed weeding the out of shape
loved
people
it.
out.
He fed off of that, and I could still see it in his eyes. I'm gonna get this.
He couldn't break you.
Class. No, but I gained his respect.
Yep.
When he didn't break me,
and look where that led to.
Yeah, he didn't break me, and I stuck it out.
Imagine that in a society, a place where somebody tries to break you and they're hard on you, and you didn't get a participation trophy, and it made you into the person you are today, and you're accomplishing a lot. That's crazy, right?
100%.
Super crazy concept. I know, right? We didn't even get participation trophies.
No.
He just literally physically they beat us.
Yes.
And we became happy, successful people. Weird how that works.
Some of us. There's an asterisk in that. Some of us.
Well, some of us just brought it on ourselves.
Yeah. I mean, I think in our class, we graduated with maybe 15 people.
Some of us almost got a beat down.
Yeah.
By some of us.
Yeah, 100%. But I think Hopper, he's high patrol now.
Yeah.
Trying
to keep up with some
crazy, man. Not only did he go through our BLET, they couldn't do the fast track for him, so he had to do the full course at SHB.
Yeah.
Hats off to those people who do SHB, man.
Yeah, that's tough.
Yeah,
they're a different breed too.
So not only did he get beat up at our school, a few months later he joined SHP Academy and got beat up there.
Yeah. He liked it though. He was tough, man.
Yeah,
he was one of those dudes where it's he's the type of person that needs to be in law enforcement. Just a tough, good-hearted. There's no other persona, no hidden agendas. That dude's just a good dude.
100%.
If everybody could be like him, it would be perfect. But not everybody can.
Nope.
You got to weed some of the bad ones out, and they end up leaving or doing something else. Luckily, or getting in trouble. But
Martinez, he joined the Navy.
Yeah, he just hit me up the other day actually, wanting to do training.
Yeah.
Yeah. Pretty cool.
Yeah, he was always my partner every day because we were the two biggest guys in there.
And he's probably in better shape now too.
Oh yeah,
I think 100%. I seen a picture of him the other day.
What's his name? He's at Pamlico County. You know which one I'm talking about? Yeah. He's doing good.
Yeah, he's a good.
He got Deputy of the Year. So he started working with New Bern. Started
really?
working. Yeah, I don't know if you remember that.
What year?
Probably same year. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. But they let him go, and then went to Pamlico.
Yeah, I do remember that.
And
yeah.
he got Deputy of the Year out there. So,
Yeah.
you know, not every agency is for everybody.
Yes, that's another thing too. That translates to regular life, not just law enforcement. Just because,
honestly, I wish you had came to Craven County, man.
Dude, they ever try to recruit me?
Yeah.
I don't know. I just wasn't meant to be doing that.
Yeah.
I think everything happened exactly as it was supposed to.
Yeah.
But I'm kind of glad I didn't. Highway Patrol was really after me. There was a Highway Patrol recruiter one time at
the one
jail.
that came to Belet?
No, it was just a random one at the jail, and he had a prisoner with him, and he was so caught up in his speech trying to get me to convert that he left his prisoner there. Just left him in the room and left. And then they were like, whose prisoner is this? And he'd forgotten him. Like, just totally that spaced out because he was obviously a recruiter. But I was just like, damn, y'all really are hurting for people.
Mm-hmm.
You're that unfocused. You left a damn prisoner.
God almighty. I've left my gun there at the jail before.
Dude, I forgot my gun so many times.
Like 3 miles away from the jail, just like, go to light a cigarette. I'm like,
oh shit, that's a bad feeling too. That's it can be a very bad feeling.
Good thing there's lockers and stuff you can leave.
Yeah.
But yeah, definitely done that.
Yeah, I mean,
Never left a prisoner though.
We this area was pretty rough for a while. They had like that gang war and stuff like that. They indicted a bunch of people, so it was a little more chill towards the end of when I got out. I don't know how it is now, but it seems to be a little bit better. They keep it under the wraps though. I hear people like there'll be like shootings and stuff, and you don't hear about it.
Yeah, yeah.
Try to keep it,
Yeah, when you were still in, we were still going through that opioid epidemic.
Yeah,
so there was overdoses.
Is it really bad? Is it still bad in this area? I think it's countrywide. It's
kind of leveled out. I would say, as far as the overdoses go, I would say there is a spike going on right now.
Mm-hmm.
But I remember, 2016, 2017, man, every weekend, like I remember this one weekend that I worked from Friday to Sunday. We had 12 overdoses in one shift just for us. And of those 12, like 7 of them were,
that's crazy.
Were deceased. And that was horrible.
Yeah, it's just getting spiked with like the fentanyl. It's so freaking dangerously powerful. Mm-hmm. Scary stuff, man. Don't do drugs, kids. It's really bad.
It's fentanyl,
it's
man.
Different than it used to. You can die.
You can put fentanyl in anything.
It's scary.
You can put it in a pill. You can put it in your marijuana.
I think I got exposed to something one time or something along that. Like I rubbed my arm on a couch, and it was like a house that had that in it. And I think I literally just got skin contact, and it was really. We would have still know. It didn't get tested, but like I think literally it's that strong. You could just brush on your skin.
Oh, it can absorb into your skin 100%. You'll overdose.
Man. Scary.
It's happened.
But so that's kind of your journey. You had a rough upbringing, and obviously you didn't let it dictate your story, which is super important. And any young law enforcement or anybody in first responder career, the stuff that we previously talked about, like the integrity. I mean, go back on that. It's just so important, man. Just be an authentic, good person and do the right thing. It seems like it's so simple. Like I shouldn't have to say it, but people get caught up in everything but what they're supposed to.
Yeah.
And yes, there are bad apples in law enforcement for sure. There's bad apples everywhere, but by you being a person that is full of integrity and a good person, you cancel. The better you are, the more you can cancel those people out. They don't, they won't have such a bigger ripple effect.
Yeah.
So if you can manage to get yourself in positions of leadership like you have, and you are a good person, then the people underneath you are going to be good people too.
Yeah,
I'm sure the people that you have working for you, can attest to that.
Oh, without a doubt, man. I mean, good thing for me, I have I'm in the position, I have the power where I can surround people with like minds around me. Mm-hmm. Like I said, we're a small agency. I got 3 guys that work full time. I got my sergeant, a corporal, and I got an SRO. And of those 3 dudes, I trust with my life.
Yeah.
And they trust me, and that's a big thing for me. And I can leave that office, and whoever's working, I don't have to worry about them. I don't have to worry about them doing something unethical, you know, doing something that's going to jeopardize, you know, the agency or themselves or me, I don't have to worry about that. They're always, you know, I feel like the people that I have working there are always going to do the right thing.
Yeah, that's important.
Integrity is so important.
Yeah.
You know, the community has to trust you, your agency has to trust you, even the DA's office has to trust you. You know, if you ever get branded with a person who has, you know, the lack of integrity,
that follows you forever.
Yeah.
It's a stain that you can't wipe off.
If you ever arrest somebody, it's going to get thrown out because, you know,
which then you become useless.
Exactly. You might as well just not have this job.
Yeah.
Without a doubt.
And there's people that, you know, try to keep it under wraps, and obviously there's politics and stuff like that. But, you know, at the base level, like, we are pretty much the hand that in between, like, politics, justice system, and the people. And when you guys are the first ones to show up. So if that's their first interaction is a bad one, or if they're getting somebody that doesn't have the best intentions, that's not good.
Yeah.
So, and people do need law enforcement. I know everybody has their opinions on law enforcement, and maybe you've had bad run-ins with some bad officers or bad law enforcement, and that's unfortunate. That sucks for you. I feel for you because it definitely happens. But at the end of the day, it's not your individual experience. People need to understand that. It's not just your individual experience with whoever you had an experience with. It's the whole picture. And you got to think bigger than yourself. And you got to understand that people need to be of good quality. And people aren't going to join. People aren't going to join law enforcement if everyone hates them. Like, you're making it more difficult for everyone. No. So that's just something I wish would change. And I guess we'll see if it does or not.
I mean, you know, in this job, you're going to have people that love you. You're going to have people like you. But you're also going to have people that fucking hate you.
Yeah, for sure.
You know, there's people right now in a little smaller town of Vanceboro right now who fucking hate my guts. And it's mainly because I've always done my job.
Yes.
And that's the people who don't like you.
Yeah.
Is when you've done your job and you made life a little bit difficult for them. And so they feel like they got to put the blame on me. And that's fine.
And the same people that want that favoritism and that, like, that leeway are the same people that have been given that their whole lives, which is why they're in a position to have to need it.
Yeah.
If you're a good person and you're taking care of your P's and your Q's and you got everything on lock, you don't need to have, you know, like, any leeway when it comes to stuff like this. You're just taking care of your business.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's one thing to think about too. If you've had bad run-ins, maybe ask yourself why you even put yourself in that position, and just handle your business, you know, and hope that good people will be in good positions. I think it's a big thing in politics right now. We have a lot of people that are big on, you know, deceit, lying, and just, like, there's so much morality missing in that atmosphere, and things aren't going to change until we clean it up, guys. Like, you have to, like, we're networking, you know, I'm giving him a voice. It's not a huge platform right now, but, you know, it's going to be on YouTube and people can watch this. And you can see he's a good person. He's genuine. You know, a lot of people would not even do this, would be nervous to even do this, like, not want to put themselves out there. And you were just like, yeah, dude, let's do it. And think about that concept. He has nothing. If he had something to hide, or if he was trying to fake who he was, would he want to do it? Would he be so apt to do it? I mean, no. Like, that's how I know that you're not hiding anything. And that's who you want in positions of authority and taking care and looking over people, is people that have nothing to hide. That's awesome. You know, I hope that stays with you. I hope you don't change a bit when it comes to that. And I hope more people can see this. And, you know, if you're nervous about being in a position of leadership and you're a good person because you think you can do it, like, do what you need to do to get there. Try your best. You can become you know, chief at 31. That's crazy. Yeah. That's awesome.
Yeah, man.
Standing.
You know, this job ain't for everybody.
It's not.
There's a saying that says some are meant to be the police and some are meant to call the police.
Yeah.
You know, find out who that person is first before you decide to do this job. But yeah, man, you know, talking about, you know, advice I would give, you know, someone coming in, other than your integrity, being humble. The next thing I tell somebody is be a chameleon. Learn how to adapt in every situation that you're in. Let me tell you what, working at the sheriff's office, there's a big difference how you carry yourself and how you talk in, let's say, Vanceboro, and how you talk to somebody down in Harlow.
Mm-hmm.
Harlow, not a people, I don't know if you've ever been down there. It is it's a very cultured group down there.
Mm-hmm.
It's a very ethnic group down there.
Mm-hmm.
It's a lot of African Americans, and they kind of police themselves down there, per se. And you're not going to go down there and have a conversation with them, because they kind of push law enforcement aside.
Mm-hmm.
But if you're a young officer coming in this job, you got to be able to interact with the same people, but you're not going to interact with those people down in Harlow the same way you're going to interact with the people down in.
It's a skill set.
Yes,
It's something they're not going to
Vanceboro.
teach you in the academy. It's
No.
something you got to learn yourself.
No.
Something that is taboo to talk about.
Yeah.
But I'm glad that you're touching on that because it is very true.
Mm-hmm.
And people, these conversations aren't had a lot because they're nervous about talking about it. But yeah, you got to treat everybody differently because they have different backgrounds. They have different ways that they think. And that's just everybody in general. Every human.
You got to put yourself on everybody's level. If you come in this job and think that you're better than the people that you're going to these calls for, you're going to find yourself in a long, hard career.
If you're just like, this is the way it is, and I don't care what you
Right.
think or what you've experienced or what you're going through, this is how it is.
Yeah.
It's not going to end well for you.
Yeah. And I always said this, even people that I trained when I was at FTO, when you're talking to people like country folk down in there in Vanceboro, you're going to talk to them like, kind of like you've been their neighbor.
Mm-hmm.
When you go down to Harlow, you need to talk to them like their family.
Mm-hmm.
It's way different, and you got to put yourself on their level. Can't be below them, but you also can't put yourself above them. And people feed off, people can tell that. You arrive on scene and you talk to somebody like they're a dog.
Yeah.
You're going to get that dog back.
Well, that's the thing too. Is like a lot of times, from my experiences, I'd have some of the meanest, toughest dudes, and I would play it like a challenge. Like I'm gonna make this dude like me, and it wouldn't happen the first or the second or the third or the fourth time, but eventually there was that that grin, like okay, I like this dude,
Yeah.
and getting to develop a friendship with those people, man.
Yes,
Life was
man.
easy because you'd be on a call and they would roll up and he'd be like, hey man, hey, quit giving this dude a problem. And then boom, everybody's like, oh yeah. And then once they realize you're cool with him, now you're cool with them. And then now you're cool with them, you're cool with them. And that's how
Right.
you develop a relationship with the community.
Yeah.
And the people that didn't do that, which was a lot of the sergeants and some of the other people, they just, if they were ever getting their ass beat and they needed help from the community, they were not going to get help. But
No.
I bet if I was getting my ass beat, some of these dudes would have came to help me because I was out of it for a couple of years, and I had my buddy come up. He's like, "Hey, this dude asked about you the other day." I'm like, "Oh, really? He remembers me?" He's like, "Yeah, man. He asks about you every time I see you." And that means so much to me. Like
Right.
more than anything else in the career, just people asking about you because they remember you because they had a good experience.
Or when they remember
crazy.
you from a good memory,
Yeah.
not, especially being in law enforcement, if someone remembers you for something you did for them or, a good deed, that's a good feeling
When
for
a
me,
dude's
man.
asking if you're doing good,
Right.
and you arrested him,
Yeah.
and he's like asking if you're doing good, like
Yep.
what?
Yeah.
But it's crazy. It's how you treat people, man. People just want to be treated by humans. A lot of these people, they need love, man. Not to sound cliche, but a lot of these people that are the most troubled, and this goes for everyone in your life, the people that are most angry and most hurt people, right? So a lot of these people, they just need love, and they're not going to be open arms like, oh, thanks for being nice. They're going to fight you tooth and nail and be like, man, quit being a little bitch.
Yeah.
Quit trying to do this. Quit trying to, so many times, man. What are you doing? And I just was like, you know what, man? I'm not going to stop. I'm going to keep loving you.
Yep,
And you're
yep.
going to eventually you're going to break. And they did most of the time. Sometimes they didn't. And there is just evil people out there that they're just bad people, but they're very rare. There's a lot less just pure evil people out there than there are people that are just hurt and they're lashing out.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, a lot of these hurt people, they never get that chance to feel love, and they end up going through the justice system, and they end up going down a dark path. And as a community, as people here on this planet, I feel like we should recognize that more and really try to help people out.
Yeah. For
instead
sure.
of
Community policing, man.
yeah.
That to me is a very important thing for me. And I encourage my guys that work under me to community police. And, community policing isn't, I don't know if people understand what the definition of that is, but it's more than just showing calls, arresting people, serving warrants. Community policing is being more involved in community, so that your community can trust you.
Yeah.
And it could be something as so small as, pulling up to the school, having a conversation with a kid out there, making sure they're having a good day. If, just today, had to go get more coffee from Food Line. So I was stopping at Food Line, and while I'm in there, I just talk to people that are in there. A lot of these people are residents within the little town, and, ask how their day is going. One of the girls that works there, she was walking out, said hey to her, could tell if something's bothering her. So I turned around and said, hey, are you doing all right? She let me know about, her son's, going through something or whatnot. But that little bit right there let her know that, hey, I recognize that something's going on with you because you didn't look the same, you know? And that's because I've been reaching out to these people, making sure, that they know that I care, And, I can't stress community policing enough. That goes such a long way in this career. It's easier to attract bees with honey than it is vinegar. I think that's how they say it. I don't
Something
know.
like that.
Something like that. So you just got to be able to put yourself in other people's shoes and try to understand where they're at.
Yeah. That's big. Put yourself in their shoes.
Yeah, man. I mean, like I said, you got to get on people's level. And you got to understand. And it's just such an important tool. Like I was saying, being a chameleon, you got to adapt.
Good points, man. Those are some. You said some really profound things today, and I think that just goes to the fact that you're accomplishing what you're accomplishing. I think that they did a good job selecting you. I know what kind of a person you are. I'm big on like energy and stuff like that. And you got good energy, you got good vibes. You're a good dude, and you're a hard worker. And it's a good mix of you're tough, right? Like you're tough, and you're not gonna deal with BS, but you're also not a jerk.
That's my thing. That's exactly who I am.
Yeah, man. Yeah. I got you.
I can be your best friend.
Yep.
But the moment you turn into an asshole, I'm really good
at
being an asshole.
There's nothing wrong with that.
No.
It's okay. And some people need that. Some people need that tough love because it's it goes back. Like everybody's different. Everybody needs to be, dealt with differently. And that's the thing. Same thing with schools, right? That's why they have issues in schools. Everybody needs to be taught differently. Everybody needs to be handled differently. Everybody's very unique. People are very unique individuals. And I think that if you just try to do a blanket way or with everyone, you're not going to have a lot of success.
100%.
But yeah, man, I think, we've covered a lot today. It's been, kind of like a little more like keeping the theme of like self-improvement, which is nice. If anyone is like in law enforcement right now, I'm going to try to like market this to that community. I hope it hits an algorithm because this is like a pretty awesome interview. It's the youngest police chief in North Carolina, guys. And just watching, him and listening to what he's saying, like really take that in. If you're in a first responder position or in any type of position in life, like this dude is accomplishing a crazy thing at such a young age. And it's an awesome opportunity to have him on the podcast. And I thank you for coming today and talking with me and just being flexible and stuff like that.
No, thank you, man. I mean, I definitely appreciate it.
This means a lot to me.
It means a lot to me.
It means a lot to me because we went to BLET together, and seeing what you did, man, and just surround yourself with good people, people accomplishing stuff. That's the name of the game.
Yeah, and
it's pretty cool. Pretty cool feeling, bro.
Yeah. Well, one thing I do want to say is, and I mentioned this the last time I saw you at the gym.
Yeah.
I'm proud of you, man.
Hey,
100%.
Hey, we get a load of this guy.
You're like water, man.
Yeah, okay.
You form to what's going on around you.
Yeah.
But you also don't conform at the same time to what's going on around you. You can move and shift into what you want to do. And talking about things weren't going good for you, but you adapt, you overcame. and you tried something new. And that's one thing I appreciate you more than anything.
Yeah.
Is that you never stayed in a situation that you didn't like.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you've always done things, at least tried it out.
Mm-hmm.
And not a lot of people have that. Not a lot of people have that drive. Some people, they just get they stick, they get complacent. They stay in one spot and they just deal with it.
Yeah.
And you know, you've never been that person. You know?
I appreciate that. That's
So
definitely
hats off to
not
you,
me.
man.
That's definitely not me. And I appreciate that you taking notice of that. But yeah, that's another good thing too, guys. If you aren't happy with whatever you're doing, and you feel like you're stuck, you're not a tree.
No.
We got two legs for a reason.
No, man.
Get up and move. Try something else.
Exactly.
You could be one of the best things ever at something and you haven't even found it yet.
Yep.
No matter what age you are. And you'll never ever know unless you you move and you try it and you try new things.
Don't be scared to fail.
Yeah, and don't be scared of failure.
Failure is
Lord knows.
some of the best tools to learn from, man.
100%.
You know, I've got ideas that I'm doing right now at the police department, and they're new things. And if I fail, I fail. I don't care.
You know, sit there and be like, oh my God, what are they going to think of me?
I'm going to learn from it. And I'm going to build something better. And if that fails, I'm going to build it again.
And some will even argue that that's a necessary step in the process of creating something, really great, is failing over and over again.
Oh, yeah.
There's a lot of, science and a lot of statistics to back that up. A lot of your people who have finally made it, they failed time and time and time again. But you don't hear about that. You only hear about the success stories, but nobody wants to talk about the failure stories. But, as you and me know, I mean, dude, think back to like my law enforcement career, man, so many times just straight embarrassment, sheer keep you up at night embarrassment stories, but those were necessary to help me grow, and everyone has them.
Yeah.
Everybody's got those cringe, embarrassing stories they went through, and it makes them a better person.
Yep.
But so I appreciate the kind words, and I think we're gonna probably wrap it up here. If you guys want to email us, if you have any questions for Chief Keys over here, and you want to contact him directly, I can message him or email him. You guys can send the emails to freefallmindset@gmail.com. freefallmindset@gmail.com. I actually didn't check the emails before the podcast, but I did see a couple in there for questions, but I was going to save that for a different podcast. I'm probably going to do a podcast again this week, just kind of me talking after the interview today, so you guys can, if you want to, this will be uploaded today. If you guys want to do questions, send them to that email. But appreciate it. Thank you so much for hanging out, and we'll probably gonna have you on again eventually.
100%.
So we'll see what happens, and as we get more of an audience, I definitely, if it doesn't hit the algorithm or whatever, we'll have you on here again. Kind of the same type of message, but we'll get your message out there. I think it's really important for young people in their careers, of any career, but especially law enforcement, to listen to somebody that's made it. You can't fake this stuff, guys.
Nope.
That badge is real. This ain't role playing. This isn't a movie. This is the real life, and people like him are out there changing the world and making a difference, and causing a ripple effect, a good ripple effect in time. And it's going to really change the world that we live in. That's very important. And I think that people need to realize that you have that same power.
Yep.
He was just a regular dude saying D's nuts in the academy, joking around, and he made it to where he is now. And you guys have the same opportunities. So thank you again for joining us. We're going to wrap it up here. Again, if you want to email us, go ahead and email us, and we'll answer some of your questions. Thanks a lot, guys. Have a good rest of your day or night, and stay fresh.